Not everyone needs a podcast. It's that simple, man. Like, could end this right here, but then there'll be no videos. So I don't know why y'all niggas keep pumping out these podcasts for no good reason. Like, I might wake up and I'd be like, this nigga got a podcast? Like, who knows this nigga? Like, why does this random ass motherfucker that nobody knows about think his opinion's important enough that he gotta share this shit with the world? Like, one day he just wakes up, grabs the mics, and like, I'm gonna start a podcast. Like, what does this nigga know that I don't? Cause like, these niggas, they like, I'm gonna go make a podcast, right? And then they go live. It's like that bitch got some COVID restrictions. Them niggas can't go past 10 people in that bitch. But listen, like, I wasn't gonna throw no shade. I wasn't gonna find no shots because it was a general topic. Like, it wasn't just this crumb side community. Like, I see it happening all over. Like, niggas just start podcasts, right? But there's a certain podcast in the community. It's called Usual Suspects, right? It don't get no usual viewers though. Like, listen, I be having cold sweats, man. I be having cold sweats. Like, I be in bed. I be like, oh, I wake up in the middle of the night. I be like, oh shit, another Kiss Move podcast. I don't know. Listen, like, no shade. I don't know why it's like FC Violent. I don't know why that nigga got a podcast. Oh, shade on this one. I don't know why this nigga Red Hood got a podcast. And y'all don't know these niggas, right? Exactly. And a podcast isn't short. That's my thing. Like, a podcast is like 2 to 3 hours. Why do y'all be wasting 2 to 3 hours of your time every week? I don't get, like, what's the angle? Like, let's say you got inspired, right? Who you get inspired? Who's got a good podcast out? What's some popular podcasts out right now, right? You got the Joe Budden podcast. Joe Budden was a rapper. Then he was on reality TV. Then he was on Everyday Struggle. Like, that nigga went into the shit with clout. People wanted to hear from him, right? Then you got Joe Rogan. He got a popping podcast. I don't watch that shit. I don't watch no white podcast. I ain't gonna hold you. But Joe Rogan, he got his podcast going, right? He was like a sports commentator before, wasn't he? Then he had his stand-up. He went into the shit with clout. Then you got Obama. That nigga the president. Y'all niggas not even employed starting podcasts. Like, niggas got no job, just vibes and some mics. Like, niggas just doing whatever out here, man. Like, and then if you want to keep it like crumb side, like BG had 80k subs. He still got 80k subs, but he had a podcast. He had people who was popping. The podcast did well. Still doing pretty good. So, I don't know, man. Like, y'all niggas not doing anything to get established. Y'all just, there's no reason to want to hear from you, right? It's like just getting a random nigga off the street and like him just talking to you for 3 hours. So I don't see the point. I don't see the relevance. I don't know the game plan. I don't know why y'all thought that shit was gonna work. I don't know, man. Like, nigga, I got some advice for you niggas starting a podcast. Nigga, go get hot. Like, that's the advice I got. Nigga, go get hot and then start the podcast. Like, niggas got 0 subs. Like, alright, welcome. First, like, nigga, no. Bye, I'm out. I'm cutting. But that's my advice, man. Find a way to get hot. Like, one of my people, he was like, you know, he was like, yo, do you talk politics with your bitches? I'd be like, no, not really. I don't really talk politics with girls. Do you? He was like, yeah, you know, I find that shit interesting. I like to know where they mind at. You know, I was thinking about starting a political podcast with my boy. I'm like, oh, I know. I wanted to put that nigga down right there and then, like, pow, nigga, no more podcasts. Not everyone needs one. And, like, even me, right? Because niggas be like, you know, I hosted a Weapon Wheel podcast episode. They was like, bro, great host. That was the best episode in a minute. Like, start a podcast. And it's like, nigga, no, I'm not doing it. Like, no. Like, so, not everyone needs a podcast. I'm one of them people. I don't need a podcast. Like, y'all don't need to hear me for 2 to 3 hours every week. Like, no, I'm good on that. Like, every week there's a new boring-ass Xbox podcast. Like, why did niggas need another one? And then there's, like, just some random-ass podcasts. And I don't know, man. It was just a quick little take. Like, y'all niggas got no creativity no more. Like, niggas don't be like, what video I'm gonna make today? Y'all niggas out here starting channels, making news videos. Like, niggas subscribe to Young Yeah already. Like, niggas don't gotta watch your shit. So, I don't know why y'all make news videos. I don't know why y'all be making these podcasts. I don't know why, like, where's the originality? Like, you're not trying to bring nothing new to the table. Like, niggas be like, well, the price of Xbox Live went up, they really tried it. Me personally, I think it's because they were trying to sell Xbox Game Pass. Like, niggas already heard this. Like, if I ever start a podcast, I'm gonna call it Not Everybody Needs a Podcast, man. I ain't gonna waste too much time, man. It was just a quick little video. PSA. Stop with the fucking podcast, nigga. Fuck!